Nekkal millionaire at Afiso. $3.6 million is to give away. Simply buy a minimum of $10 in credit or data worth $10 to stand a chance of being a millionaire. To enter the weekly and monthly draw, send WIN by SMS to 772 or just call 772 for free. Remember, the more you buy credit or data, the more your chances of being a millionaire. Be that Nekkal millionaire at Afiso, right?
Good evening from our studio here in Serekunda. This is Star TV News. We are live here in our studio in Georgetown, and we begin with the headlines. 3 private member bills introduced for first reading in Parliament. Government to construct 365 kilometers of roads countrywide. CRS Nana concludes week-long workshop on social and behavioral change communication tools development. Electrical repair at Mansa Konko Area Council appears on local government commission. On the international news, Kenya to send 1,500 agriculture workers to Israel amid farm labor shortage. France, Macron's immigration bill rejected by parliament in surprise vote. German citizenship applicants must support Israel's right to exist. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. Those are the headlines, and now the news in detail. My name is MOMODOU, and thank you very much for joining us. 3 private member bills were tabled for a first reading in the Parliament on Tuesday. These bills aim to repeal the current Local Government and Public Order Acts. Mariam Adem was at the Parliament. She filed this report.
The procedural step aligns with Standing Order 65 of the National Assembly, which allows any bill to be introduced in Parliament for an initial reading. The first bill presented on December 12, 2023 is the Rent Amendment Bill introduced by the member of Serekunda West, Honorable Madi Sise. The objective of this bill is to amend the Rent Act of 2014, and its proposed amendments include provision for a landlord's responsibility to provide and maintain habitable rental premises, requiring landlord consent before subletting, specifying regulations for rent increases, and addressing related matters. The second bill tabled is the Local Government Amendment No. 2 Bill 2023, put forward by the member for Latrikunda Sabji, Honorable Yaya Sanyang. This bill advocates for granting nominated councillors and selected members of local councils voting rights. It aims to ensure that the interests of all Gambian citizens are adequately represented in local government, thus enhancing effective representation and improving the quality of decision-making. Overall, the bill intends to promote democracy and good governance. Following this, the Public Order Amendment Bill 2023 was presented by the NAMFO Central Badibu, Honorable Suleiman Saho. The purpose of this bill is to amend Section 5 of the Public Order Act to align it with international best practices and the guidelines issued by the African Commission on Human and People's Rights. As a result, the current requirement for obtaining a license to hold public gatherings will be replaced with a process mandating prior notice. This new process seeks to strike a balance between the constitutional right to peacefully assemble and ensuring appropriate measures are in place. All 3 bills are now scheduled for Tuesday, 19th of December 2023 for a second reading and for members to debate on their general merits and principles. It is anticipated that these bills, if enacted, will have a significant impact on the rent sector, local government representation, and public order regulations in the Gambia. Mariam Adem, reporting for Star TV News.
During his recent Meet the People's tour, the Gambian leader President Barrow reaffirmed his government commitment to infrastructural development by announcing the construction of 365 kilometers of roads throughout the Gambia. The president made this announcement during a joint meeting held in Lamin West Coast region. Hadijaju files in this report.
To achieve the goals outlined in the Gambia National Development Plan, the government has identified infrastructural development as a crucial element. President Adama Barrow acknowledged that road construction is a complex and costly endeavor, with each kilometer amounting to millions of dollars. However, despite limited resources, the government remains dedicated to ensuring the construction of major roads across the country. Furthermore, President Barrow expressed concern that previous road construction was heavily reliant on grants and loans, which are not sustainable in the long run. But to foster greater sustainability, the Gambian leader stressed the current government aims to fund road projects using taxpayers' money. An example of such projects include the recently completed Banjul Road project, the 86-kilometer stretch in Kiang, the 87-kilometer Hakalang Road, and the 47-kilometer road in Sabah Sanja, among others. President Barrow assured citizens of continued development, outlining plans to construct a total of 365 kilometers of roads across the country. Of these, 190 kilometers will be specifically targeted towards urban areas.
Silo men dogu kan sai yon ima liggéey fi nekk ni nga mel suma yiñ nata 365 kilometers ñetti téeméer ak juroom benn fukki kilomètre ak juroom neewo ko do xayma yalla ñoka lolu suñu xayma xaalis bobu ñu tek ko wota dafa billion kononto dina dem be ci juroom ñeenti billion wala ñanta ko silo dogu la mo wara liggéey yoon yoy ni ko billion o suñu billion mais bi modol ta bola ñoko xeyna nit ñi duñ xam lan moy billion kili wala million wuli kili ben million moy téeméeri million yi dalasi wo kononto million wuli kononto wala ñanta ko silo dogu la juroom ñeenti yoonam anu nga wotala banko bele kan isaje dol ya soto dol fana ya soto dol fana ya soto bari wokono way ci bir lolu ko modron keme bir ko mara du tolu ci keme nin tan kononto du tolu ci témer ak juroom ñen fukki nga wo be suman kombole kono témer ak juroom ñen fukki kilomètre yoon bodo amunta ko hafo be mu kombole dafa melni gëna wali yoon yépp tuddi kombola niaje nga woke so gisee ma def lolu nga lon ne jannon tuba bankoti amna ne fi moy tuba banko anu nga sila dol do kudla dol tole.
President Barrow emphasized that his administration is actively addressing the challenges faced by Gambians regarding the country's road network. This commitment is evident in the ongoing road construction projects throughout the nation, he noted. Addressing the Gambian National Development Plan, President Barrow emphasized its importance in promoting microeconomic management. This approach, he said, aims to implement policies that benefit all Gambians, thereby improving the overall economy and business landscape.
Ni woyeta sangi tan saba pour yow ko do soto lolu su la jëlé fanweri at pour gamu am xaliss bobu andu men ta dafa kilomètre wuli lolu wala be gambe be ñata do kula te tolu ci juroomi journée kilomètre ci ay yoon mom lañ wala liggéey ite ma do kula wadi jumal lolu kan nga ko liggéey yow nga ko de continuer non man lolu mëna continuer wala ken min del ko fo nga.
In addition, President Barrow urged Gambian youths to engage in entrepreneurial pursuits, highlighting the need to reduce reliance on foreign-owned businesses. He also reiterated the government's commitment in providing universal access to electricity by 2025, further enabling socio-economic progress. For Star TV News, I am Hadijajo.
A 7-day tools workshop on social and behavioral change communication tools development has ended in Buyam over the weekend. Organized by the Catholic Relief Service and the National Nutrition Agency NANA, was aimed at creating effective tools to boost the awareness of the population about the consumption of nutritious meals. MOMODOU El-Baji has the rest of that story.
In the Gambia, the consumption of fortified food continues to gain momentum as a result of the level of awareness created by authorities and their partners. Moreover, the National Nutrition Agency is duplicating efforts to surpass its current achievements on food fortification with the help of partners like CRS. As the week-long event climaxed on Sunday, the Catholic Relief Service CRS Technical Advisor on Communication and Social Marketing, Chofa Vitalis, gave assurance that his institution will continue working with NANA to further identify key priority areas in making food fortification more effective in the country.
This session was not just about focusing on the communication, but we are also living with an idea of the different challenges that are being faced by the different actors. And this is really an opportunity for us to say that we will continue collaborating with the NANA to see how to identify the key priority areas where we can bring in our contribution as CRS in ensuring that food fortification is really effective in the Gambia.
The executive director of the National Nutrition Agency, Dr. Ahmed Ba, believes that extending the SBCC to communities will add value to their efforts in creating awareness about food fortification in the Gambia. However, the varieties of foods targeted for fortification are rice, cassava, salt, flour, and cooking oil. This, Director Ba said, are consumed globally.
It should be food that should be able to also take the fortificant or the micronutrient that you are targeting to control. So this is why we have chosen these foods. And these are foods you are chosen not only by the Gambia, but it's worldwide. So they are a good vehicle for making sure that the micronutrient deficiencies that we have as a problem are all used to fortify these foods, because they're supposed to have the micronutrients. They don't have enough of it. You add it physically, or you add it by a means of biology, and they're available for the general population.
A senior health promotion officer, Alhaji Sehudiba, underscored that the initiative is in line with health promotion, as he spelled out their common objectives within the promotion of the well-being of Gambians and non-Gambians, who, he noted, will one way or the other benefit from the outcome of the just concluded training on food fortification.
Our common objective is to contribute to the task of raising the living standard of the people of the Gambia. And if our business is to help improve the living standards of this country, we are contributing to longevity of life. And a country's success is measured by the longevity of life of its people. Okay? We are all into health promotion, and health promotion is about what? Enabling people to make healthy choices and rational decisions that contribute to health.
While delivering his vote of thanks, Bakari Kujabi applauded Nana and CRS for the initiative, urging his co-beneficiaries to make good use of the knowledge gained.
As a country, we are gearing up towards ensuring we have self-sufficiency in food, particularly rice. Now, if we are looking at it at a different level of providing quality or fortified rice, oil, salt, and flour, it's important that we all come together, put our efforts together to make sure this is realized. So I want to thank CRS and Nana on behalf of the participants and on behalf of myself.
The week-long workshop was intended to equip stakeholders on the communication methodologies to break the stigma on the consumption of fortified food and promote the benefits of its intake for the well-being of people, especially those in rural communities. For Star TV, I am MOMODOU El-Baji.
To the Local Government Commission now, in the ongoing proceedings at the Local Government Commission of Inquiry, Sheikh Bayo Sambu, an electrical specializing in electrical repairs and small-scale contracts with the council, testified before the commission regarding his involvement with the Mansa Konko Area Council. Late Council Yakar Cox engaged in a probing exchange with Mr. Sambu to gain insights into his working relationship with the council. Awasane was following the proceedings.
During the inquiry, the council queried about possible payments made for tax beyond the scope of electrical work. However, Mr. Sambu maintained that he had no recollection of such transactions, emphasizing that his role was strictly limited to electrical services. When questioned by the chairperson about payment for cable wiring and sound system installation for the area council, the witness claimed to be unable to recall the specific amount.
You are not too sure of the reasons why you were paid this 50,000.
Yeah, no, the right reason I deposited 20,000 because from my
just before the deposit. Okay. You are not too sure of what you did for them until they pay you 50,000, or you do know now what you did for them until they paid you 50,000.
Yes.
You do know.
No, I don't know exactly what I...
You don't know?
Yeah, I didn't know exactly.
But you just happen to have received a check and you went and cashed
No, I provided an invoice, maybe. I provided an invoice.
Yes, I'm just saying.
Yeah, yes.
So for now, you don't recall, you cannot recollect what you did for the council for them to pay you 50,000 and some.
Yeah. No, I can't remember it right now.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
Subsequently, the chairperson asked the witness about the payment received for the cable wiring and sound system installation carried out for the area council, but Mr. Sambu again stated that he could not remember the actual price paid for the service rendered.
Money paid to you and you did some work and you can recall that you did some work. So why would it be difficult to remember the money?
To be honest, what I did for that work, that work is at the council, at the conference center. The one you are talking about.
You tell us.
No, I'm asking. I just want to have.
You do works both at the conference center and at council. So I am asking you. You provide us with the invoices that you give to council when you do works for them. And works doesn't stop at just the center.
Yeah.
Because you do all the electrical works for council.
Yeah, almost, yeah.
It's not almost, it's all.
Not all.
Because you are the only known electrician in Soma. Is that not correct?
Not only known.
You have other electricians?
Yeah, there are some.
But you are the most famous. And you've been doing a good job. Is that not correct?
Alhamdulillah. Okay, sorry.
You remember?
No.
You remember the amount?
No, you know what I'm telling you, maybe if at all it's the AP, I don't know whether it's the AP system, but honestly I don't remember the amount, but if at all, maybe it will be the AP system.
The what?
The AP system, I mean.
Yes.
The sound system they put there.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe it's that one, but I don't remember the
that
money.
One, how much is it?
As Mr. Sambo appears unwillingly to provide any answer to the council's questions, the commission continues its investigation into the matters discussed during these testimonies. The focus remains on solving the truth behind the allegations. For Star TV News, I am Awasane.
Interesting. That story by Awasane will take us to the commercial break. When we come back, we'll look at news outside the Gambia. Stay with us.
The cheapest SMS service in the Gambia, brought to you by the coolest network, AfriCell. Text all day, every day with your friends and loved ones to AfriCell network for only 40 bututs per SMS. The texting never stops. AfriCell, always hook you up.
Walk into any AfriCell outlet today to grab your own AfriPhone for $550 and receive 200 minutes of talk time spread over 2 months, all for free. AfriCell, got you. Talk till you drop. Enjoy free calls every morning between the hours of 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. Pay for the first minute and the rest of your call is free. Nothing beats this. Let the conversation begin. With AfriCell, you're never out of credit even if you're out of cash. Borrow up to $250 is credit with the AfriCell Cholera Credit. Send a blank SMS to 152 to activate the Cholera Credit. AfriCell Cholera Credit, the solution for you.
If you are just tuning in, this is Star TV News from our studio here in Serekunda, and now we take a look at news outside the Gambia. Since the war on Gaza began, more than 10,000 foreign workers have left Israel. Now it is turning to Africa to address the severe labor shortage. Kenya has agreed to send 1,500 agricultural workers, but the move is being heavily criticized. Al Jazeera's Malcolm Webb reports from Kenya.
Bernard Ngugi's been working on farms in Kenya for about 20 years. He says he'd work in Israel if given the chance, and he's not put off by the risks of conflict.
I want to bring up my children well, but I've never had the chance, because I've never had a good job where I can stand on my own 2 feet. If this chance is the one, I can help my parents, and I can build for my family.
About 10,000 foreign workers have left Israel since Hamas attacked on October the 7th. Most are from Thailand, including these men who were captured and later released by Hamas. Others were killed. Israel's also revoked work permits for Palestinians. Now it's turning to African countries to plug the gap. More than 200 farm workers left Malawi for Israel last month following a secret deal with the government, Last week, here in Kenya, the Labour Ministry said it would send 1,500 workers who will each be paid $1,500 a month. There are millions of people in Kenya who live in homes like that and work on farms, growing crops like these, for which many earn about $200 a month. So the money on offer in Israel is hard to refuse. Realistically, many of the jobs will go to people who are more privileged and have better access to the recruitment companies. But while it may seem like a good opportunity to many, political opposition say the arrangement is problematic and exploitative. Israel's previously been criticised for its treatment of African migrants, and rights groups have reported abuses of foreign farm workers. Israel says migrant workers have the same rights as Israeli citizens.
There is a level of transformation.
Kenya's opposition says the government should create jobs at home instead of looking for them abroad.
We know the genocide they are committing in Gaza. That's just hoodwink the world that we are still okay as a country, but we all know that's not true. I mean, these arrangements with presidents, weak African presidents that are not able to build their own countries, is trying to sanitize itself.
Kenyans are struggling with soaring living costs. The farmers here say whatever the risks, the chance of earning more abroad is too good to turn down. Malcolm Webb, Al Jazeera, Kikuyu, Kenya.
French President Emmanuel Macron has suffered a surprise defeat in Parliament. That is after far-right and left-wing MPs rejected a key immigration reform bill supported by his government. The draft law was thrown out before it could be debated. Nacha Butler reports from Paris.
It was the outcome that the French government had dreaded. A majority of MPs from across the political divide in the French Parliament came together and agreed to block a debate on the French government's immigration bill. Right-wing MPs said the bill was too lax. Left-wing politicians criticised it as inhuman.
For us Greens, it's a huge victory, as it was our proposal that the bill not be debated. For a year and a half, all we've heard is that immigration is a problem. This bill was disgusting.
By rejecting this debate, we've once again protected French people from more measures that would attract illegal migrants.
It was an embarrassing defeat for the French Interior Minister Gérald Darmanin, who'd earlier presented the bill at the National Assembly at the start of what was expected to be weeks of intense discussion on the proposed law.
Compromises must be made in the national interest to protect French citizens on our borders, to integrate foreigners and fight illegal immigration.
Because French President Emmanuel Macron's party does not have a parliamentary majority, it needed the support of enough opposition MPs to debate and eventually approve its bill. The decision to block the debate isn't the end of the immigration bill, but it does mean that it won't be passed in its current form. The government can now decide whether or not to send it back to the Senate for discussion or set up a cross-parliamentary committee to re-examine it. Either way, it'll be a very long process. The bill was a mix of measures. On one hand, it proposed speeding up deportations and cracking down on what the government calls foreign delinquents. On the other, it allowed some undocumented workers to be legalised in industries where there are staff shortages. This restaurant owner says immigrant workers are essential for the country's economic growth, and without them, some businesses wouldn't survive.
We have always needed immigration. Our problem is these jobs don't attract young French people. They don't want to do them, so we need immigrant workers.
Right-wing politicians said such measures would encourage illegal migration, while left-wing MPs called the bill an erosion of rights.
Whether you are French or an immigrant, from the moment you're working, you should have the same rights.
The government's defeat in Parliament will be seen by many as a sign that President Macron is unable to build the sort of cross-party consensus he's long called for, or deliver on one of the issues that remains a primary concern for French voters. Natasha Butler, Al Jazeera.
Combating anti-Semitism is central to German government policies due to the country's history and responsibility stemming from the Holocaust. That view has deepened since the Hamas attack in Israel last October. In one eastern state, government ministers have agreed to compel German citizenship applicants to sign a declaration that guarantees Israel's right to exit. Some lawyers believe the move is unconstitutional. Al Jazeera's Dominic Kane reports from Berlin, Germany.
For decades, the path to German citizenship has been long, requiring competence in the language, years of residency, a clean criminal record, financial security, and a commitment to democracy, law and order. Applicants must also pass a multiple-choice test to show their awareness of life in Germany. But now, in one of the 16 states, an additional requirement has been introduced in the aftermath of Hamas's attack on Israel in October.
We have now decided that as part of the process, all applicants for naturalisation must make a written declaration recognising Germany's special responsibility for the State of Israel and recognising the State of Israel's right to exist.
Where her government in Magdeburg has led, so some people here in Berlin seem to want to follow. Prominent politicians on the left and on the right say existing rules don't go far enough. Several weeks ago, Conservative leader Friedrich Merz suggested enshrining in law what his party colleagues in Saxony-Anhalt have done. And the Federal Interior Minister Nancy Faeser appears to agree. One leading lawyer told me he believes this action is unconstitutional.
Israel's right to existence is not a legal principle. It's a political principle that several German governments have adopted, but it's not written in the constitution. And also, the directive from Sachsen-Anhalt didn't consider at all the rights and liberties of the people affected.
Parliament is already debating whether to relax some of the rules regarding German citizenship to encourage more people to apply. But if the change regarding Israel is passed, then it may discourage others. Dominic Kane, Al Jazeera, Berlin.
That report from Dominic brings us to the end of this edition of News Bulletin, but before we go, to look at the main points again. 3 private member bills introduced for first reading in Parliament. Government to construct 365 kilometers of roads countrywide. CRS NANA concludes week-long workshop on social and behavioral change communication tools development. Electrical repair at Mansa Konko Area Council appears on local government commission. On the international news, Kenya to send 1,500 agriculture workers to Israel amid farm labor shortage. France, Macron's immigration bill rejected by parliament in surprise vote. German citizenship applicants must support Israel's right to exist. And that's it for this edition of today's news. Thank you very much for watching. Do stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our unbeatable programs. Till then, have a very good night.